Ever wondered how to make the perfect lemon cake? Today, we're going to embark on a culinary journey to create a delectable lemon cake that's sure to delight your taste buds. We'll be using simple ingredients such as flour, sugar, butter, and of course, lemons. This recipe also features a tantalizing meringue topping that adds an extra touch of sweetness. Whether you're an experienced baker or just starting out, this lemon cake is a fun and rewarding project. So, without further ado, let's dive into the world of baking. The first step in crafting our lemon cake is to prepare the dough. This process begins with combining flour, salt, sugar, and cold butter into a blender bowl. Keep in mind, the butter should be cut into cubes. The reason for this is to ensure the butter blends well with the other ingredients, creating a fatty crumb texture. Next, we pour in the water. Here's where the fun begins. It's time to knead the dough. Kneading is an art form in itself. You have to do it quickly, but with a gentle touch. If you knead for too long, the butter will melt and your dough will turn out wooden. Not the desired outcome, right? Once you've kneaded your dough, it's time to shape it into a layer. Now wrap this layer in cling film and let it chill in the refrigerator for about 30 to 40 minutes. This rest period allows the dough to firm up and makes it easier to work with in the next steps. When the dough is nicely chilled, it's time to roll it out into a layer about 2 to 3 millimeters thick. Carefully roll the dough onto your rolling pin. This is a neat trick that helps you transfer the dough to the form without breaking it. Now it's time to position the dough. Place it on the bottom and sides of your mold. If you have a detachable mold, that would work best. Once your dough is nicely settled in the mold, it's time to bake. Send it to the oven heated to 170 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes. And voila, you have your dough ready. It's a simple process, but one that requires patience and precision. But don't worry, the result is absolutely worth it. Now that our dough is ready, we can move on to the next step. With our dough prepared, it's time to bake it. We're going to take our well-chilled, rolled-out dough and carefully place it in our chosen baking mold. A detachable one works best for this. We want to make sure the dough covers the bottom and sides fully to create a perfect shell for our luscious lemon filling. Now, we're ready to send our dough into the oven. It should be preheated to a cozy 170 degrees Celsius. We're going to let it bake for about 12 to 15 minutes. This will ensure our dough is beautifully golden and crisp, the perfect contrast to our creamy filling. Once we're done baking, we carefully remove the foil and let it cool. It's essential to let the base cool before we add our filling, as it will ensure the textures and flavors meld together perfectly. While our dough is baking, we can start preparing our lemon filling. While our dough is getting baked to perfection, we can start preparing our delicious lemon filling. The secret to a luscious lemon filling lies in the perfect blend of tart and sweet. Begin by grating the zest of the lemon. This will infuse our filling with a refreshing citrusy kick. Now, it's time for the yolks. Beat them lightly with a whisk, just enough to break them up and get them ready to join our lemony party. Next, we mix water, our freshly squeezed lemon juice and zest, sugar and starch in a ladle. The starch is what thickens our filling, giving it the perfect consistency. We put this mixture on fire and stir until it comes to a boil. You'll notice the mass starting to thicken, creating a glossy and smooth texture. Here's where it gets a bit tricky, but don't worry, I've got your back. Remove the mixture from the heat and add half of it to our beaten yolks. Mix it thoroughly and intensively with a whisk to prevent the yolks from scrambling. This process is called tempering, and it's crucial to ensure a silky, smooth filling. Once you've mixed the yolks with the lemon mixture, it's time to reunite them with the remaining half in the ladle. Mix well and put it back on the fire. Bring it to another boil and thicken, then remove from heat. Now for the final touch, add butter and stir until it's fully incorporated. This adds a rich, velvety texture to our lemon filling. Transfer this filling to our cooled, baked base and smooth it out evenly. And there you have it, a tangy, sweet, and utterly delectable lemon filling ready to take our lemon cake to the next level. With our lemon filling ready, we're one step closer to our perfect lemon cake. Now comes the exciting part, assembling our lemon cake. We've patiently prepared our dough and our luscious lemon filling, and now it's time to bring these two together in a sweet symphony. Take your baked dough base, now beautifully golden and crisp, and get ready to fill it with the tangy goodness of our lemon concoction. We pour our lemon filling into the dough, making sure it spreads evenly across the base. The bright yellow of the filling contrasts beautifully with the golden hue of our baked dough, creating a visual treat that's as delightful as the cake itself. Don't be shy with the filling. This is the heart of our lemon cake. and we want every bite to be bursting with that fresh, zesty flavor. Next, we need to prepare our cake for the meringue. We're going to layer this fluffy cloud of sweetness right on top of our lemon filling. But before we do that, let's make sure our cake is ready to receive it. The filling should be nicely settled into the dough and shouldn't be too hot. We don't want our meringue to melt before it even hits the oven. Now take a moment to admire your work. Look at that gorgeous layer of lemon filling nestled into the dough, waiting to be crowned with a fluffy meringue. It's a sight to behold, isn't it? But we're not done yet. This lemon cake still needs its crown, the meringue. This will be the final touch that transforms our cake into a masterpiece. We'll be preparing the meringue in the next step. But for now, let's make sure our cake is ready to receive it. So there you have it. Our lemon cake is assembled and ready for its final touch. We've got our crisp dough base, our tangy lemon filling, and now all that's left is to top it off with our fluffy meringue. Our cake is almost ready. All that's left is the meringue. The final step in creating our perfect lemon cake is the meringue. Now this is where the magic happens. Let's dive right into it. The meringue is a marvel of the culinary world. It's light, airy, and adds the perfect balance to the tangy lemon filling of our cake. To prepare the meringue, we're going to need egg whites and sugar. That's it. Two simple ingredients that transform into something truly extraordinary. Start by whipping the egg whites. You'll want to do this at a medium speed, gradually increasing to high speed as they start to froth. The trick here is not to rush the process. Patience is key when it comes to achieving the perfect meringue consistency. Once the egg whites have turned into a fluffy white cloud, start adding the sugar. Add it in gradually, not all at once. This will ensure that the sugar is well incorporated and the meringue holds its structure. Keep whipping until you get medium peaks. You'll know you're there when you lift the whisk and the meringue forms a peak that holds its shape, but with the tip bending over like a wave. Now comes the fun part, adding the meringue to the cake. You can do this with a spoon, or for a more elegant look, use a pastry bag with a shaped nozzle. Spread the meringue on top of the lemon filling, making sure it touches the walls of the base. This will create a seal, preventing the lemon filling from boiling over and giving your cake a neat, professional look. Finally, it's time to bake the cake one last time. Place it in an oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for 8 to 10 minutes, or until the top of the meringue turns a lovely golden brown. The heat will make the meringue crispy on the outside, while keeping it soft and gooey on the inside. Take the cake out of the oven, let it cool to room temperature, and then place it in the refrigerator to chill completely. And there you have it, the perfect lemon cake. Let's quickly summarize what we've learned today. We started with preparing the dough, blending flour, salt, sugar, and cold butter together. We gave it a chill, rolled it out, and shaped it in a mold. Next, we baked the dough and prepared the lemon filling. The filling combined lemon zest, yolks, water, sugar, and starch. For the final touch, we whipped up a meringue topping and baked it to a golden brown. Remember, the key to a perfect lemon cake lies in the careful mixing of ingredients and precise baking times. Happy baking!